Now that we reviewed push and pull factors, it's time to take a closer look at the other waves of immigration that are going to follow once the United States was formed and created its own nation. This first wave of immigration is going to come primarily from Northwestern Europe. You can take a look at the map here. So we're talking Scandinavia, Norway, Sweden, and so on, and Denmark. In the United Kingdom, including England, Scotland, and Ireland, and so on. And it's also going to include Northwestern Europe, like Germany, and in this area, as you can see. There were some Chinese that came during this time as well. And during this period, 15 million different people came to the United States. Earlier on, most of the immigrants were coming from England and Ireland. In fact, until 1860 or the Civil War, 90% were going to come from England and Ireland alone. Later on, more Germans and Scandinavians came to the United States. Chinese immigrants were going to settle primarily in Hawaii and California. Except for the Chinese immigrants, the cultures of those from Northwestern Europe are going to be more similar. The secret word is dragon. Don't forget to write it down. So why did they settle in the Midwest or come to the United States? There are going to be many historical reasons. The first is going to be the same as people came from the colonies before. It's that idea of available land. The United States was able to buy Louisiana Purchase, which gave there to be more land available for settlement. Additionally, from the U.S.-Mexican War and the Gadsden Purchase, and Texas joining the United States, there's going to be just a lot more land that can be settled. And in fact, the United States government is going to advertise trying to get people to settle in many of these areas. Additionally, the gold rush is going to give added interest to California. That brings us to the Irish potato famine. In 1845, disease attacked potatoes, as most were the same variety in Ireland, and the majority of the crop was lost. Farmers were kicked off the land, families faced disease and starvation, so coming to America gave them new opportunities and hope to start anew and fresh. The Industrial Revolution, as it formed, created many jobs, and these jobs were unskilled. So the need for unskilled workers in factories was appealing. Wages were often higher than in home nations, and there was a better standard of living. So this drew many immigrants as well. The Homestead Act gave free land after 5 years if the land was improved. And this was attractive to many Scandinavians and German farmers in our own area. This made more farmland available and more settlement. And like before, previous Native American claims were ignored, land was taken, or treaties were drawn as interest in this land grew. And finally, there's going to be better transportation. The Transcontinental Railroad and steamships are going to be able to move faster and ticket prices lowered. And this is going to make it easier for people from different parts of the world to make it to the United States much quicker. For example, in 1850, it took 44 days by steamship to arrive in the United States, but by 1892, only 6 days. Another interesting point is that Transcontinental Railroad not only connected the nation, but it also needed workers, primarily Irish and Chinese immigrants fulfilled this need.